Good morning students. Once again welcome to the Visual Basic Volume 2. Today I'll explain the features of Visual Basic. In last class I explained you what is visual programming, what is Visual Basic and the editions or versions of Visual Basic. Today I am going to explain some important features of Visual Basic. These are important for examination also. The first feature of Visual Basic is it optimizes the compile code. It optimizes the compile code. Now what is optimization here? Any programming language, the code should get compiled. If it is compiled, then only the output will be generated. Means it should be free of syntax errors and runtime errors. And the compile code is executable code. So in VB, the compile code which is going to generate the output is a optimized code, which is reduced, which is optimized, and it gives the desired output. That is what? That is optimization. Optimization means what? The perfect usage of a tool, a technique, a code. Now second feature is it supports client server architecture and COM also. It supports client server architecture means if a web based application is being created, as you know, any web based application when it is being created, for that client server architecture is required. Means if a database is being generated, for database what will be there? One server side should be there where all the database will be stored and the users who are going to access the database. For that, what they will be having a machine, that is the local host machine, that is client machine. So simple thing, any web based application when it is to be created, for that what is required? Client server architecture. The users are the clients and where the database will be stored, that is server. And last class I told you COM, component object model. Visual Basic, everything is based on objects. The interface is object. Then the tools. Tool means last class I showed you like this. See here, one login example, one interface, GUI I gave you example, username, password. So this window is a object. These two are called labels. These are called tools. This tool is used for designs. Like Microsoft Paint. Microsoft Paint is used for designing. In Microsoft Paint, what is there? Pen is there, brush is there. Pen, brush, eraser, all these things will use for what? Designing. Like that here it is having some design tools. Now this is label, this is a text box, this is window. All these are what? All these are objects. These are only called what? Component object model. Next, a very important feature is Intellisense Property. A very important feature is Intellisense Property. Not intelligent, it is Intellisense Property. Separate question they may ask for Intellisense Property. Now what is Intellisense Property? See, Intellisense Property is a feature of Visual Basic where the user can interact with the system during runtime. The user can interact with the system during runtime. How it is? See, and what it is, again I repeat the definition. Intellisense Property is a feature of Visual Basic where the user can interact with system during runtime. How it is? See here and what it is. Intellisense Property is having 5 sub-components, 5 sub-features. Quick info, complete word, data tips, list members, list constants. Again I repeat, quick info, complete word, data types, list members, and one more is what? List constant. Now what is this quick info? See what happens here. Now you know every programming language, the program components are having syntax. The program components, that is called programming constructs, which is having some syntax. Like I'll take one example of for loop. You know every programming language is having for loop. Without looping statement, a programming language cannot be constructed. It is compulsory in a programming language. So in that, most powerful loop is suppose for loop. Now what is the syntax of for loop? I am considering C++ only. In the for loop, the syntax is expression 1, expression 2 and expression 3. See, in C++, if you write FOR, you will not get any quick information about the syntax. It is not there. Here in Visual Basic or this kind of GUI based programming language, graphical, it is not only Visual Basic, there are certain programming languages where this Intellisense property is there, where what happens, as soon as you type the programming construct, the programming component, and if you put the parenthesis, the system itself will give you what? The system itself will give you about the details of syntax. Means if you write FOR, system itself will give you the details about the system syntax. Expression 1, expression 2, expression 3. Expression 1 is initialization, I is equal to 0, I less than n. Expression 2 is what? Expression 2 is for condition, and expression 3 is for what? Increment or decrement. This is what user defined. You are using your own user defined variables, you are putting your constants, conditions, increment or decrement, but the syntax is built in. Syntax is already pre-built. So getting the information about the syntax, is called what? Quick info. Okay, like that. Similarly, if you write if, immediately it will give like this: if condition, then what? Statement. Like this, one details you will get about what? If statement. This is called what? This is called quick info, and this is only interaction. The system is interacting with the user. System is helping the user to know about that new programming language. Why this help? Why this Intellisense property? Because user is going to use a new programming language which is having a different style, which is having a different syntax, because every programming language is having its own style and syntax. Now see here, so this is what? Quick info. So what is quick info? It is a Intellisense property which gives the syntax about a programming construct. It may be loop, it may be if statement, it may be some built-in functions like exit, okay, some library functions or some mathematical functions. Whatever you are using, you have used any built-in things which is there. For that, this will work, not for the user defined, not for user defined things. Next, complete word. One more powerful Intellisense property which is there in Visual Basic. See what happens after typing certain characters, the system itself will complete the word if the word is left incomplete during runtime. After typing certain word of a programming construct, the system itself will complete it if it is left like that only. How it is? See, for loop, FOR is there. Now suppose you have written like this: FO, I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Now FO, there is no such word in programming languages. So what the system will do? System will complete this FO to FOR automatically during runtime, okay, before execution or while execution, during execution. Or similarly like this, is suppose WHILE. If I type WHIL, the system will complete that word WHILE. Automatically it will take the correct word. It will complete the word. But condition is what? Few characters should be typed there. It's not like that you will type only W and you will wait for checking whether the system is going to complete it or not. At least few characters should be typed, okay, of that programming construct. Like while is a loop. So in the while loop, so the word is what? The keyword is WHILE. Now in WHILE, if WHIE or WHIL 3 to 4 letters are being typed, then what will happen? The system will complete it if it is incomplete during runtime. That is what? That is complete word. Next is what? Next is data tips. Next is data tips. What is data tips? The value of a variable will be showed in a separate tooltip window. The value of a variable will be showed in a separate tooltip window. Means how it is? Now suppose here the variable is there A. Now the variable is there B. Now see here B is being initialized with 10. That will be shown separately. So it will be shown here what? B is being initialized, A is not being initialized here. This is called what? This is data tips. In data tips what happens? The value of a variable is shown in a separate tooltip window. Okay, this is used for tips, means which gives a hint. Okay, like I'll give you an example. See, in computer what happens? In desktop is there. If keep your cursor there, if you keep your cursor on a recycle bin, immediately below you will get immediately one message will come, like a pop-up message, it's recycle bin. If you keep on folders, C drive, D drive, E drive, immediately it will show C drive, it will show D drive, it will show it's E drive. If you click, if you keep your cursor on my computer, just keep your cursor, don't click, just keep your cursor, immediately it will show what? Okay, below one message will come. One message, it will show there what? It will show Windows message, my computer. So by seeing that, user can understand what is this icon, what is this recycle bin, what is the drives, what are that? My computer. That is data tips. That is data tips of what? The GUI interface. Like that, during coding also, the Visual Basic generates what? Some data tips. Visual Basic Intellisense Property. Due to Intellisense Property, that will be generated. Means it helps the generation, means it is nothing but help. It helps the user to know which is being initialized, which is not being initialized. Next is what? List member. Next is what? A very important intelligence property. The fourth property is in list member. What is this list member? See here, the list member is, I'll give you an example here. Suppose that only. See here, username is there. Here password is there. So what is this? This is a window. Okay, why that window is required here? Because this is GUI. Why GUI is required? For visibility. Why visibility is required? For interface. Why interface is required? For input. If you see the interface, then you can give the input. So any database related thing, any web based applications needs what? Needs interface. Any web based related things, okay, like web pages will be having some database, and for that what is required? Interface. Like login. A login window is what? It's a GUI, graphical user interface, which is having some options where user can give input. What input? Username and password. Okay. Now that options are called tools. Those options are called what? Tools. What are tools? Which is used for design. Why design is required? For interface. Why interface is required? For visibility. Now, like Microsoft Paint, it is having tools, pen, brush, eraser, like that. Visual Basic is having some tools. So you assume this window only. Here, this window is what? Username and password. In this window, you can see there are two components are there, username and password. So this is called label. This is called what? Label. This is one tool. This is called text. This is called what? Text. Now this is your called text box. This is called what? Text box. So this is your first text box, text 1. This is your second text box, text 2. Now how it is related with these list members? See, here in Visual Basic what happens? Suppose I will consider this text 1, which is used for username. Text 1 is a tool which is available in Visual Basic software, okay, in a component called toolbox. In a component called toolbox. You have seen, I will give you an example. See, one toolbox kits will be there, like electrical people. So electrical people, if electrical persons comes, they will be having some toolbox. And in your home also one toolbox will be there. In that different, what will be there? Different tools will be there. Like one tester will be there for testing. Okay, different shapes tools will be there. So those tools are used for what? Those tools are used for some electrical connections. Okay, then that electrical test for those things. Like that, in Visual Basic what is there? Some tools are there. Like how Microsoft Paint is having some tools. Pen is one tool, brush is one tool. Like that here also in Visual Basic one toolbox is there. In toolbox some tools are there. Like label is one tool, text box is one tool. Why these tools are required? For design. Why design is required? To create the interface. What is that interface? The interface is the window. What is that window? The window is nothing but form. Why it is required? For design. Why design is required? For visibility. Why visibility is required? By seeing that user can understand and user can process. What processing? Inputs. User can give inputs. So assume text 1 dot in Visual Basic. See text 1, why? Because that is the first text box. For that text 1 is coming. Once you type dot, immediately you will get a list here automatically. In the list what will be there? Some members will come. Font, color, text, height, width. So like this members will get font, color, text, height, width. Now which is required for us we can select. See, here username is there. Username suppose SDC. Password is what? Suppose 123. Okay. Now what is this SDC? What is 123? It is text. So here what we will do? Out of all these members we will select which one? Text. So it will become what? Text 1 dot text. Why? Because these are not font. Here font is not required. Color is not required. Then what is not required? Height, width is not required. Already it is having some height, it is having some width. What we need here? We should be able to type. What will we should be able to type? The input. What is that input? Text. That's why from the member list we'll select what? Text. This is called list members. So what is list member? It is a Intellisense property. It is a Intellisense property of Visual Basic, where the list of members will be displayed pertaining to the object or related to the object. So list of members are what? Font, color, text, height, width, which is pertaining or related to what? Which is pertaining or related to text 1. Similarly, if you make for text 2, same thing will come. Only it will change as what? Same list will come here. Same list will appear here. Only instead of text 1, it will become what? Text 2. And you are going to select same thing. Text 2 dot text. For text 1 also you will select text. For text 2 also you will select text. Whether it is characters or it is numeric, everything is considered here as text only. Alphanumeric code is considered as here text. Okay, so this is what? This is your list members. These are the members. Font is member, color is member, text is member. This is related or pertaining to what? Text or object. Next is what? List constant. List constant means what? The constant, the member constants related to the objects. The member constant related to the objects. Like, see, this is having some default height and width. So, height is one constant here. Then, width is having, okay, some constant value. It is nothing but the default value. Here, this text box is having some width, default width. It is having some default height, horizontal distance and vertical distance. Okay, that is in terms of height and width. Obviously, that is what? That is member. Member of what? Member of that object, and it is having some values. Those values are what? Constant. If you use the default value, that will work like constant. Or you can enlarge it. See, during runtime you cannot do anything. During design time, you can enlarge it or you can shrink it. But here during runtime it is being considered. What is displayed for us, that is during runtime. What is visible for us, that is during runtime. During runtime, the default values of the members are considered as what? List constant. Example, height and width. Height and width. So again I repeat. So what is this? This is features of Visual Basic. In features of Visual Basic, what we studied? Some 3 important features. First one is what? It optimizes the compiled code. Okay, optimization is what? Optimization is the best option. The best possible utilization of a programming code. Okay, like one more example I'll give you. What is that? Like memory utilization. If it takes less memory, then it is optimized code. If it is user friendly, it is optimized code. If it is helping the user, like see here, Intellisense Property is there, where you are getting syntax, the system itself is completing the word, it is helping the user, it is giving some tips for you. Okay, so that is what? That is optimization. Next, it supports what? Client server architecture. If any web based application has to be created, for that what is required? Client server architecture is required. And it supports also COM, component object model. Why? Because it is object oriented. Here whatever you use, whether this box, text box, it is one object. This label which is used for heading or caption, that is one object. The window, that is called form, that is also object. So these are having some communication, that's why that is called, these are components. Text 1 is one component of this window, text 2 is also one component of this window, label is also component of this window. That's why these are what? Component object model. Then the most important feature, what is that? Intellisense property. In Intellisense property, what is happening? The user can interact with whom? System during runtime. How? See, these are the Intellisense property. Quick info. It is giving what? It is giving the syntax. Immediately, as soon as you type programming construct like loop, like built-in function, like if statement, it will give what? The syntax of the programming construct, programming component. Next, complete word. After typing certain characters like WHIL or FO, system itself will complete it if it is incomplete during runtime. But few characters should be typed. It's not like that we'll type only one alphabet. and you will expect the system is going to complete it. Then in that case it is not going to happen like that. Or you have typed wrong, while, WHILE, you have typed WILE, beginning itself is wrong, then also it will not be. Why? It will not match the syntax, then it will become syntax error there. Next, data tips. The value of a variable will be shown in a separate tooltip window. I gave you an example. Tips means what? Hints. Like in my computer, in Windows, you get some hints. If you keep your cursor on recycle bin, my computer drives, you will get some hints. Next, list member. So once an object is mentioned with dot, then one list appears, which gives the name of the members. So what is list member? The members of the object which is being displayed during runtime, or pertaining to the object or related to the object is being displayed. So like if text1 is the object, the members of that objects are font, color, text, height, width, like this, so many are there, which comes in a list after dot. Here what is compulsory? Dot. If dot is there, then only the list will come. If dot is not there, the list will not come. That's why these are the members. It is coming in a list. It is coming in a list, that is called drop down list, which is related to the object. And in that list only there are some constants which is having some default values like height, width, color. Okay, initially some color will be there here, like here 4 color. So 4 color means the text color here. So default some text color will be there, maybe white or black, whatever it is. Those are what? Those are constants. So these are the most important properties. So next class I will go for few more properties. Total 15 properties are there. Part by part I will explain you. Thank you.